For 40 years, any conversation about China was not really complete without mention of the opening up policy that changed the country beyond recognition. Fast forward to 2019 and the term opening up continues to be a main feature of many of President Xi Jinping's speeches. For those of you not au fait with China's economic miracle of the past decades, know this: the significance of opening up cannot be understated. It has defined China's economic growth and will continue to do so. So what policies have contributed to the success of the Chinese economy? How have they benefited foreign enterprises and the world at large? And looking ahead, will China stay on this path of opening up? I'm Jenny Cortez Ibanez, and this is Xinhua Special. In 1979, the coastal provinces of Guangdong and Fujian became economic pioneers and implemented a suite of policies to facilitate trade and cooperation with foreign countries. This marked the first steps on the path of opening up. From that moment on, China began to open its doors, and its interaction with the world transformed this once semi-closed nation into an industrial and innovation powerhouse and an engine driving global growth. A key milestone was China's entry into the WTO in 2001, exposing it to the framework of international trade rules.
If we look at Chinese growth over the last 40 years, it's always been, a series of mountain climbs, one after the other. The first one was opening up space for farmers. The second one was really opening up special economic zones. More recently, we've seen a focus on financial deregulation. And I think we're at a point where China is really looking up the next mountain, and it's planning how it's going to drive the next phase of Chinese growth.
A change in gear has been noticeable since the 18th National Congress of the CPC in 2012, with President Xi using his addresses on many occasions to underscore that China will continue to open up. During the second China International Import-Expo that just concluded last month, President Xi made the solemn promise once again.
站在历史的新的起点，中国开放的大门只会越开越大。我们将坚持对外开放的基本国策，坚持以开放促改革、促发展、促创新，持续推进更高水平的对外开放。
To be more specific, the Central Economic Work Conference, which just concluded, proposed that China's opening up will continue to develop on a larger scale and at a deeper level. The world's second largest economy is entering a new stage of institutional opening up, which is more advanced compared with the opening up of the market. In 2013, China proposed the Belt and Road Initiative as a remedy for the febrile world economy. Projects under the initiative can be found in every continent.
This is something which is a completely new dimension also from a global perspective, because for the first time there is one country which is reaching out with investments, with business opportunities on a global scale. And I would say this is a major driver of a new global economic approach by China.
And the China International Import-Export has already emerged as a dynamic platform that encourages and supports foreign trade and cooperation. In the past year alone, China passed a historic foreign investment law, shortened the negative list for foreign investment, and lowered tariffs on imported goods on 4 occasions, with the average tariff dropping from 9.8% to 7.5%. In its latest efforts to expand import, China announced that it will implement provisional import tax rates that are lower than the most favored nation tariff rates for over 850 commodities starting January the 1st. Such a large-scale import tax cut is not common, especially when the world is being challenged by rising protectionism.
So for me, The new foreign investment law impresses me the most. It sets out the overarching framework for international companies to enjoy a more level playing field in China. The new law offers border market assets, national treatment, enhanced protections of IP rights, and streamlined registration process for foreign investors. I believe with the new law in place, foreign investors can definitely expect a more transparent and equal investment environment going forward.
Another landmark achievement this year was the commitment to speed up the opening of the financial sector. In 2019, China relaxed its access requirements for foreign banks and insurance companies and scrapped investment quota limits for qualified investors, making it easier for foreign investors to participate in China's financial market. Added to that is the promise that foreign ownership limits on brokerages, fund management firms, and future companies will end in 2020, a year earlier than initially planned.
Now, the fact that the regulator and the central government has bring forward the timeline is extremely encouraging, I think, which really shows the central government's intention to open up and to bring in foreign firms to come into this very interesting and vibrant market. We are very ready to make an application next year.
While some may say China is not moving fast enough, this year China's ease of doing business rank rose to 31 from 46 the year before. China has established 18 free trade zones across the country to improve the business environment for foreign firms and investors. It's already the largest trade partner of more than 120 countries and regions, and the ratio of China's contribution to global economic growth went from a mere 3.1% to a whopping 27.5% in 4 decades.
And that is, in our view, a very strong signal from the Chinese government on China's intention to open up the market, to allow more foreigners to come into this market, to create perhaps more competition in the market, which would hopefully stimulate, and I'm sure it will stimulate growth and best practices.
These improvements illustrate China's intensive efforts to liberalize its economy amid the rising tides of protectionism and unilateralism. With Chinese leadership's reaffirmed promise to deliver wider opening ups, the world can count on the country to continue to walk the talk. See you next time.